In the vast flow of existence, we often collide like boats drifting through a thick, heavy morning mist on a silent and mysterious river. Why do some collisions ignite a fire of anger within us, while others allow us to find a sense of profound and lasting inner peace? The secret lies in a simple yet profound question that we must ask ourselves. Is your boat currently empty as you navigate through life? Today we explore the ancient wisdom of the empty boat, a lesson on the ego that can transform how we perceive every conflict we encounter. An old master watches the horizon, knowing that the greatest battles are not fought against others, but within the silent chambers of our own hearts. To understand the world, one must first understand the self, and the heavy baggage we carry that makes our boats sit so low in the water. Let us journey back in time to a classic tale by Chuang Tzu, which reveals the true nature of human reaction and the power of emptiness. Imagine a world where your peace is unshakable, where the actions of others can no longer disturb the quiet surface of your deep inner emotional lake. This is the art of taming the ego, a path that leads to liberation from the storms of anger and the chains of constant social comparison. Chuang Tzu tells of a man crossing a river, rowing with all his might through a dense fog that hides everything more than a few feet away. His mind is full of destinations and worries, his body tense with the effort of steering through the gray wall of the thick morning mist. Every shadow looks like a threat. Every sound makes him jump, as his ego is fully engaged in the task of protecting his fragile journey. Suddenly, out of the nothingness, the dark shape of another boat appears, moving swiftly on a collision course that seems impossible to avoid or stop. The impact is jarring, throwing the man off balance, sending a shockwave of surprise and immediate fear through his entire body and his racing mind. His heart hammers against his ribs, and instantly his fear turns into a burning, uncontrollable rage at the perceived carelessness of the other boat's pilot. He begins to scream insults, demanding to know why the other person wasn't looking, his ego demanding an apology for this perceived personal assault today. He is ready for a fight, ready to defend his dignity and his right of way against whoever dared to disrupt his peaceful crossing today. But as he leans forward to see his opponent, his words die in his throat, and the fire in his eyes is replaced by cold confusion. The boat is empty. There is no one there to hear his shouts, no one to blame, and no one to receive his burning, righteous anger. The rage vanishes as quickly as it appeared, for there is no target. Without someone to be angry at, the anger has nowhere to go. This is the essence of the lesson. Our anger depends entirely on the presence of another ego to clash with ours in the dark fog. When we carry a heavy ego, we are like a boat loaded with stones, making us slow, rigid, and extremely sensitive to every external impact. We treat our self-importance as a shield, but in reality, it is a target that invites every arrow of criticism to strike us directly in the heart. The larger your ego, the more surface area you provide for the world to hit, hurt, and offend you as you walk through your day. We feel insulted not because of what others say, but because we believe our self is a solid object that can be damaged by mere words. This self we protect is often just a collection of stories, titles, and past grievances that we cling to with a desperate, white-knuckled grip every day. When your boat is full of these heavy attachments, even the smallest ripple from another person feels like a catastrophic wave threatening to sink your soul. Conflict does not arise from the collision itself. It comes from our ego feeling threatened by the presence of another I. A fragile ego is like glass. It looks strong and clear, but it shatters into 1,000 sharp pieces the moment it encounters a hard reality. We walk through life constantly on the defensive, scanning for threats to our status, our pride, and our deeply held beliefs about who we are. But what if we could let go of that weight? What if we could become as light and as unburdened as the air itself in the sky? The path to peace is not found in building a stronger shield, but in emptying the boat until there is nothing left for others to hit. Emptiness is not a lack of value. It is the ultimate form of resilience, allowing life to flow through you rather than crashing against you. When you are empty, you are like the wind, moving everywhere, influencing everything, but impossible for any hand to grasp or any weapon to harm. Taming the ego is not about destroying yourself, but about turning yourself into an empty boat, no longer viewing yourself as the center of the universe. It is the practice of observing your thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to them, realizing they are just passing clouds in the sky of consciousness. Be like the mountain, witnessing the storms of life without losing your center, knowing that your true nature is far deeper than any passing mood. Walking as an empty boat means you no longer feel the need to prove your worth to every stranger or defend your honor against every slight. When someone is rude, you see it as their own struggle, their own full boat crashing into the world, and you simply let the ripples pass by. You listen more than you speak, for you have no ego that needs to be fed with the constant attention or the shallow validation of others. There is a profound freedom in being nobody, for nobody has nothing to lose, nothing to hide, and nothing to prove to the judgmental world. This is the art of being wrong, of being spacious enough to hold everything but attached to nothing, drifting through life with an effortless and quiet grace. When the ego is tamed, the light of your true essence can shine through, unblocked by the thick, dark smoke of pride and constant self-concern. You become a part of the flow, no longer fighting the current, but moving with the natural rhythm of life, accepting both the highs and the lows. The strokes of your life become deliberate and beautiful, for they are guided by wisdom and compassion, rather than the frantic and chaotic demands of ego. As the mist of self-delusion clears, you see the world as it truly is, a place of connection and harmony, rather than a battlefield of separate selves. To be nothing is to be everything. In the absence of the small I, the vastness of the universe begins to flow through your very soul. Take this philosophy of the empty boat into your daily life. When a car cuts you off, see it as an empty boat drifting by in the fog. Instead of reacting with anger, you respond with patience. You don't take it personally because you realize it was never about you in the first place. At work, when a colleague criticizes your idea, remain an empty boat. Don't let your ego rise up to defend a thought that is already gone. By remaining empty, you allow for growth and collaboration, turning what could have been a sharp conflict into a constructive and helpful conversation for everyone. In your home, let your ego step aside during disagreements with loved ones. Winning an argument often means losing a piece of the precious heart's connection. Choose peace over being right. When your boat is empty of pride, there is more room for love and understanding to fill the space between you. Resolving conflict is not achieved by defeating others, but by ensuring the opponent finds no rival to collide with. When you offer no resistance, the anger of others has no hook to catch on. It simply passes through you like light through a clear window. Practice being an empty boat in the small moments, and you will find the strength to remain empty even during the great storms of your life. You will realize that the world is not against you. It is simply a collection of other boats, most of them struggling with their own heavy cargo. Compassion becomes your natural response, for you see that every attack is actually a cry for help from a soul weighed down by its ego. The river of life is long and winding, but with an empty boat, the journey becomes a beautiful dance of light and shadow on the water. May your boat be light, your heart be open, and your spirit be as free as the mist that rises from the river at the break of dawn. If you can navigate this life with the emptiness of a humble heart, you will find no obstacle capable of blocking your peaceful, steady path. The conflicts that once seemed so large and threatening will now appear as mere ripples on the surface of an infinite and deep, quiet ocean. He knows that he is not the boat, nor the river, nor the mist, but the awareness that experiences them all in perfect, silent harmony. Go forth and be the empty boat. Let the world flow around you, through you, and with you as you discover the joy of true selflessness. Thank you for joining us on this journey of the spirit. May your days be filled with the quiet strength that comes from a tamed ego. If you found value in this lesson, share it with another drifting boat today. Together, we can find peace in the middle of the thickest mist. Remember that you are the master of your own inner waters. Choose emptiness, choose peace, and walk a path that is light and truly free. Wishing you a life of profound serenity and grace. Until next time, stay mindful, stay kind, and continue to be the empty boat in the mist.